Hey guys, here we are. Welcome back to chapter 6. I'm literally wearing the same thing as the last video because I'm literally just recording the next one right after. It's what I do. But here we are. This next chapter is called Fang Hits Town. Again, Fang Hits Town. Go ahead and make a prediction to your brother, sister, parents, to yourself. Hey, I think this chapter is going to be about this. Fang Hits Town. Make a prediction now. Good? All right. So here we are. Yes, Fudge liked his new bed a lot. There was just one problem. He fell out of it every night. By the fourth night, my mother and father got smart. They pushed the bed against the wall, surrounded the other side with chairs. Now, there's no place for him to fall. But every morning, my mother found him curled up on the chairs. My father said they could have saved their money since Fudge was so happy sleeping on a chair. On Saturday, we had to go to the dentist. He wanted to check Fudge's mouth again to make sure everything healed right. We went to the doctor's office. His office is on the other side of the park. It's near Madison Avenue. My mother said we'd make a day of it. And wouldn't that be fun? I've had to go to the movies with Jimmy Fargo, I told her. Oh, but we'll have such a good time. Okay, the three of us go out for lunch, then we'll have new shoes for you and Fudge. I've been out to lunch with Fudge, I reminded her. He's growing up, Peter. He knows how to behave now. I'd still rather go to the movies. I wasn't looking forward to my day at all. But so, first, I took Dribble out of his bowl, let him crawl around the tub a little bit. I'm afraid to put him down on the floor. Somebody might step on him. But in the tub, I know he's pretty safe. Next, I take the rocks out of his bowl, and I wash them and make sure everything's good. Today, I finished with Dribble just in time. My mother was rushing, mumbling about getting us to Dr. Brown's office to his appointment on time. When we were outside, we took the crosstown bus, then walked a few blocks to his office. As soon as the nurse saw Fudge, she said, "Hal's my favorite little patient." It burns me up the way people treat Fudge. He's not even that special. Soon the nurse said, "Fudge, Dr. Brown is ready for you." So I looked at a National Geographic magazine while I waited. Then my mother said, "Peter, Dr. Brown would like you to help with Fudge." "Help him? I'm not a dentist." But I went to the nurse. "What do I have to do?" I said. "Oh, not much. Dr. Brown just wants to show you Fudge wants you to show Fudge how to open your mouth so he can check your teeth." "Why do I have to do that? I don't even need a checkup." "Your brother won't open his mouth." "He won't? No, he won't," said the nurse. I thought that was pretty funny. I never considered refusing to open my mouth when the dentist said, "Open, open." When we reached the examining room, Fudge was sitting in a big chair. Dr. Brown was showing him lots of things and explaining what each of them does. Fudge kept nodding, but he didn't open his mouth. "Ah, Peter," Dr. Brown said, "would you open your mouth so I can count your teeth?" That's what he tells all the little kids, counting their teeth. Little kids will just believe anything. I went along with Dr. Brown's joke. I opened my mouth wide, much wider than if I'd been a real patient. "Wonderful teeth," he said. "Just beautiful. A regular chip off the old block. Such a shame your brother can't open his mouth the way you do." "I can too," Fudge said. "No, you can't open your mouth nearly as good as Peter." "Can too, see?" "No, I'm sorry, Fudge. It's still not as good as Peter's." So Fudge opened his mouth really wide. "Count teeth. Count Fudgy's teeth." "Well," he pretended to think. "Count!" "Well," he said, scratching his head, "as long as you're here, might as well count your teeth." When he was through with Fudge said, see, just like Peter." "Yes," Dr. Brown said, smiling. "I can see that. You're just like Peter." I like the way Dr. Brown tricked Fudge into opening his mouth. So when he was through examining him, I whispered, "Couldn't you make Fudge some false teeth? Like the ones grown-up have?" "No, he'll just have to wait. But he looks like he has fangs." "You better not say that in front of your mother." "I know. She's not too big in the fangs." Dr. Brown thanked me for helping. "That wasn't so bad, Peter, right?" my mom said. "Could have been worse." Next, we headed to Bloomingdale's where we got our shoes. There were 5 salesmen, all in the shoe department. 2 of them, my mother doesn't like at all. She thinks they don't measure my feet correctly. There is one she likes a lot. His name is Mr. Berman. I like him too because he's funny. He usually makes believe that the right shoe goes on the left foot, or that Fudge's shoes are really for me. Anyway, Mr. Berman always waits on us. Buying shoes is almost a lot of fun. Today, Mr. Berman spotted us right away. He always remembered our names. "Well, if it isn't the Hatcher boys." "In the flesh," I said. Fudge opened his mouth. "Gee, all gone." Well, congratulations, Mr. Berman said. That calls for a celebration. And he reached into his jacket and pulled out a lollipop. Ooh, lolly! Oh, now then, what'll it be, boys? Mr. Berman asked. My mother answered, brown and white saddles for Fudge and loafers for Peter. Okay, Peter, let's see those feet. I slipped off my old shoes and stood up. I stuck my left foot onto Mr. Berman's foot measure. Then he turned it around and put my right foot in. That's another reason why I think Mr. Berman is good at selling shoes. He measures both feet. Some other salesmen just measure one. What color loafers you want, Peter? Brown, I said, same as my old ones. When Mr. Berman went to the back to look for the shoes, my mother noticed a hole in the toe of my sock. Oh, Peter, why don't you tell me I had a hole in your sock? I didn't know I had one. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. It's my sock, Mom. Why should you be embarrassed? It looks terrible. I mean, to come shopping with a hole in your sock, that's just awful. Oh, can't you just hide it a little? Where do you want me to hide it? Try to get the hole in between your toes so it doesn't show. I wiggled my sock and tried to rearrange my hole. My mother sure worries about the littlest things. Mr. Berman came out with a pair of loafers. He likes to try different sizes to make sure I'm good on the right one. One pair was too big, the other pair fit fine. Wear or wrap? Mr. Berman asked my mother. Wrap, please. Well, wear the old ones home. I've never been allowed to wear new shoes coming home from the store. Don't ask me why. My mother always says the new pair wrapped up and I can't wear them until the next day. When I was finished, Mr. Berman untied Fudge's shoes and measured his feet. Brown and white saddle shoes, my mother said. Mr. Berman went in the back and returned with 2 boxes. Fudge saw the saddle shoes and said, No! No what? My mother said. No shoes! Don't be silly, Fudgies. You need new shoes. No, no, no! Everybody in the shoe department was looking at us. Here's the perfect size, Mr. Berman told Fudge. Wait till you see how nice these shoes fit. And Fudge kicked some more. It was impossible for Mr. Berman to get the shoes on his feet. He screamed, No, shoes! No, shoes! My mother grabbed a hold of him, and he was wiggling all around. Now look, Fudge, my mother said. You must get your new shoes. Your old ones are too small. So what kind do you want? I don't know why my mother even bothers talking to him like he's a regular person, because when Fudge gets himself in a temper tantrum, he doesn't listen to anything. What kind do you want, Fudge? Because we're not leaving here till you get new shoes. I figured we'd be there for the rest of the day. I'm going to count to 3, my mother said. 1, 2, Fudge stood up. I want one like Peter's. I smiled. I guess the kid really does look up to me. Yeah, they don't come in your size, Mr. Berman said. Yes, I want one like Peter's. Mr. Berman held up his hands. I give up. I had a feeling I wasn't going to like... and my mother said I have an idea, but I had a feeling I wasn't going to like her idea. But I listened anyway. I think we'll have to play a little joke on Fudge, she said. What do you mean? Mr. Berman brings out a pair of saddle shoes in your size. Oh, no, I said. You're not even going to let me wear saddle shoes? Never. Let me finish. Mr. Berman can bring them out and you can try them on. And Fudge will think that you're getting them, and then you leave with the loafers. That's mean. You're taking advantage of him, I said. Since when do you worry about that? Well, since now, I said. Look, Peter, it's 12 o'clock and I'm starving. Well, me too. Well then, if you want to get some lunch, we got to try it my way. Fudge looked up from a position and said, like Peter's. Yeah, sure, Fudge. Mr. Berman came back with a pair of brown white saddle shoes for my size. I tried them on. Did they look ugly? See? Peter's nice saddle shoes. Now Fudge try on his saddle shoes. Fudge let Mr. Berman get him into his new pair of shoes. See, he said, just like Peter's. That's right, Fudge. It's just like mine. Yeah. Wear a wrap. A wrap, of course, Mom said. I wonder what my mother would tell Fudge tomorrow when I wore my loafers instead of those saddlers. Oh well, wasn't my worry. When Fudge was back in his old shoes and our package was ready, Mr. Berman gave my brother a striped balloon. He offered one to me too, but I refused. How could he think a person in 4th grade might even want a balloon from a store? That wasn't so terrible, was it, Peter? It wasn't. Well, it could have been worse. Yeah, I suppose. It went to hamburger heaven for lunch. When our lunch was served, my mother cut Fudge's hamburger into tiny pieces and he shoved them in his mouth. But then she handed him a spoon and told him to eat his mashed potatoes. But instead of eating them, he smeared them on the wall. See, he said. I thought you told me he wouldn't behave like that anymore, I told my mom. Fudgy, that's naughty. You stop it right now. But Fudge said you got to eat her to wear it. I laughed. I couldn't help it. That's when the waitress asked my mother, "Do we want anything else?" "No, thank you," my mother said. "Hmm, we've had more than enough now." "Not me," Fudge said, "not me." "Yes, you. Why can't you just eat like Peter?" Fudge didn't say anything. He just stuck his fork into his balloon. Pop! I screamed. Oh, God. I want more balloon, want more balloon. Oh, gosh, Fudge, shut up. That's enough, Peter, my mother said. We took a cab home, and Fudge fell asleep on the way. He had his fingers in his mouth and made a slurping noise. My mother whispered to me, "Our day wasn't so bad, right, Peter?" I didn't answer. I just looked at our taxi window and decided that I would never spend a day with Farley Drexel Hatcher ever again. All right, so I'm going to stop there. That is the end of chapter 6. Go ahead and answer the questions on this, and I'll see you guys on the next one.